Incorporated, a company based out of Cincinnati, Ohio, that's dedicated to improving relationship quality and functioning for parents and co-parents, couples and families. Previously served as the Director of Fatherhood Services at Public Strategies Incorporated in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So, no further ado, Mr. Williams.
Thank you. So we're going to talk about infant mortality from the responsible father perspective. Part of the New Beginnings for New Fathers initiative, which is a statewide initiative. How many of you know that there's an Ohio Commission on Fatherhood? Good, it's getting better. I ask that question everywhere I go, and normally it's 0 to 1 people raising their hand. We've got 5 or 6 people raising their hand here, so that's good. As you heard, I was in Oklahoma doing fatherhood work, and I would not stop bragging on Ohio because we're the only state in the nation that has a commission on fatherhood that exists by statute. We have in our state multiple cities that have long-standing fatherhood programs. I mean, programs that are 12, 14, 15 years old. There's not a lot of states that can say that, right? Fatherhood programs have a kind of a low survival rate. There's a mentoring component where men from the community come in and mentor the fathers that go through the program, that graduate from the program. Another critical component, we have mental health services for the fathers we serve. And then, as I stated, we've evolved to have services for mom, right? Every child should have a father in their life, right? And there is no reason, apart from that man being a threat, emotionally or physically, apart from that, there's no reason a father should not be in a child's life. And we have learned quite a bit about how to support families through fatherhood. Right? So our focus is always on children and families, but we go through the portal of fatherhood to do that. Parental separation is occurring too much with children prior to birth and shortly after birth, when discord between the mother and the father's economic status, and other factors we'll get into later, but things that drive dad away. The child is of mom, but for the dad, the child has to turn to see dad, to find dad. And then these two individuals with no physical connection connect at a deep biological and emotional level. So the way she put it, and I really liked it, it's quite amazing, this bond that happens with fathers and children. Crime and punishment, criminal justice that happen in low-income and predominantly minority communities as opposed to majority communities. So the ACE study links directly to our issue, which is infant mortality, right? So, and again, we're talking preconception. This is the mom and the dad. If the mom and the dad are experiencing those adverse childhood experiences, these are some of the outcomes, the negative outcomes that could occur. Yes, human beings are by nature very resilient, but yes, human beings by nature are very fragile, right? And so it doesn't take a lot to askew things in the wrong direction prior to conception, because these things that are happening become a part of the father and the mother's body prior to conceiving a child. And the research and the science that's emerging is saying that these things occur, they are then transferred, right, into the process of conception. So, and there's even research now that's emerging around how trauma is transferred through genes. All of these things flow through the prism of power and economics, right? Which is the part that gets into people being denied and disenfranchised, whether they're women, Native American, African American, and so on. So when it goes through that prism, when it flows through that prism of power and economics, just like any light that goes through a prism, that light gets refracted and it gets shot out with different levels of intensity and different and new angles, right? So through power and economics is how people get hurt, right? So that's where you get into an issue of lack of equity, lack of access, and that's where you start seeing the disparities in health, education, criminal justice, and so on, that create the life the lifestyle and the experiences of the individuals that are preparing to have a baby. 4.6 million black men who are 25 to 54 are not incarcerated, hence the 1.5 million missing black men. If they're not incarcerated, where are they, right? So for every 100 black women who are not in jail, there are only 83 black men in that same category. 17 missing black men for every 100 black men. You can see down at the bottom of the slide that that gap barely exists among whites. Okay? One missing white man for every 100 white women. Responsibility is he's emotionally, physically, financially supported. And in the research that this came out of, moms rated dad's financial support as the lowest factor that was important to them. So moms really got that I need him here emotionally, I need him here physically, in support of the developing child.
What would that be?
I have no idea. No, I sent it, so I don't know if you can get it from the conference organizers.
What strategies you may have, or
Well, first and foremost, don't give up. It's typical. How old is your boot camp program? A year. So that's still kind of young. I mean, so one, don't give up. I know it's designed for in the hospital, but maybe you can think outside the box and think, how can the hospital export that boot camp program to a community center or YMCA, that type of thing.